Dear students, today we are going to start the next chapter of civics, that is markets around us. What is market? Market is a place where different kinds of things and commodities are available. We can purchase for our daily needs. So that place is known as market. So let's start the first part of this chapter, markets around us. As we have discussed that so many things we can purchase from the markets like vegetables, soap, toothpaste, spices, bread, rice, dal, clothes, notebooks, biscuits and more many other things. If we make a list of the goods that we purchase, it would be really a long. So there are many kinds of markets that we may visit for our everyday needs. Can include shops, hawker stalls in our neighborhood, a weekly market, a large shopping complex like malls, right? So dear students, in this chapter we'll study about all these kinds of markets and we'll try to understand how the goods that are sold there reach buyers, who these buyers are, who these sellers are, and what kinds of problems are faced by them. So let's start the chapter. You can see different images of these commodities available in the market. Here different kinds of markets. After that, first, weekly market. What is weekly market? If we see the name of this market, weekly, so the market that is set up once in a week. So weekly market is so called because it is held on a specific day of the week. Sometimes you have observed the weekly market, you have visited the weekly market on Saturday, on Sunday, on Thursday, Wednesday, any day of the week. So once in a week the market is held, that is called weekly market. Weekly markets do not have permanent shops. Temporarily are set up by the shopkeepers and small traders. So traders set up shops for the day and then close them up in the evening. Then they may set up at different place the next day. So there are thousands of such markets in India. People come here for their everyday requirements. Why people come there? We'll discuss later. First of all, we should know about more features of weekly market. So many things in weekly markets are available at cheaper rates. Why it is so? Cheaper rates? Because when shops are in permanent buildings, as you can see in the city, in the market, they incur a lot of expenditure, like they have to pay the rent, electricity bill, other charges and tax etc. to the government. They also have to pay wages to their workers. But in weekly market, the shopkeepers are small traders and these shop owners store the things they sell at home. Most of them are helped by their family members, so they should not pay to the workers because they do not have workers, so do not need to hire workers. So weekly markets also have a large number of shops selling the same goods, which means there is competition among them. And if some trader were to charge high price, you can go to another shop and then you can bargain also. Clear? So in this way you will get cheap products or cheap goods in these markets, weekly markets. One of the advantages of weekly markets is that most things you need are available at one place. Means like vegetables, groceries, cloth items, utensils, etc. All the things are available at one place. You should not go anywhere. You do not have any kind of need to go anywhere else to purchase the different products. You do not have to go to different areas to buy different things. People also prefer going to a market weekly market where they have a choice and a variety of goods. So dear students, in a weekly market, variety of goods are available at one place. So let's discuss about some questions. Why do people go to a weekly market? Give three reasons. First reason, weekly market can be closer to the residence of the people and can be nearer to their homes. So they go to a weekly market. Second thing, reason we can tell here that cheap products are available in the weekly markets. Clear? And third reason, that all kinds of goods we need are available at one place. So these three reasons you can explain. Who are the sellers in a weekly market? Small traders are the sellers in a weekly market. And why don't we find big business persons in these markets? We do not find big business persons in these markets because these are not profitable for big business persons to set up the shops in the weekly markets, because weekly markets consist of the temporarily set up shops, right? Not permanent buildings. Why are things cheap in the weekly market? Things are very cheap in the weekly market because bargaining is possible in these kinds of markets. Second thing, very hard competition is there. Many shops are there having same kinds of products, so you can go to other shops to purchase cheap products. Third one, that is here sellers or shopkeepers have the temporarily shops and they do not pay the rent for the shops, and they do not have the workers, so they don't pay the salaries to the workers. So the things are very cheap here. Clear? Without any kind of extra expenditure. You can explain with example how people bargain in the market. You might get some experience. And can you think of a situation where the bargain would be unfair? Sometimes bargain would be unfair. You can think about it. So do yourself this question. It's very easy. Now, Samir, seller of clothes. This seller, you can see like these sellers in the weekly market. Samir is a small trader in the weekly market. He buys clothes from a large trader in the town and sells them in 6 different markets in a week. He and other clothes sellers move in groups. They hire a minivan for this, and his customers are from villages so that are near the marketplace. At festival times, only at the festival times, these kinds of sellers get profit or good business like Deepavali, Pongal, etc. So like Samir, most of the sellers or shopkeepers in the weekly markets do these kinds of business in the same manner. Now, shops in the neighborhood. We have discussed about the weekly market. This is another kind of shops you find in your neighborhood. Clear? So we have seen that the weekly markets offer a variety of goods. However, we also buy things from other kinds of markets. There are many shops that sell goods and services in our neighborhoods. We may buy milk from the dairy, groceries from departmental stores, stationery, eatables or medicines from other shops. Many of these are permanent shops, while others are roadside stalls, such as that of the vegetable hawker, the fruit vendor, the mechanic, etc. Clear? So, shops in the neighborhood are useful in many ways. How these kinds of neighborhood shops useful or helpful for us? Because they are near our home and we can go there on any day of the week. Means for whole week they are open and we can go to the shops according to our requirements. Usually the buyer and seller know each other, and these shops also provide goods on credit. Means we can borrow the products and later after 1 month we can pay for those. So this is very beneficial for the customers, those who purchase the things. So this means that you can pay for the purchases later, as we saw in Sujata's case for example. Now we'll see the example of Sujata. Here, Sujata and Kavita were sent to buy groceries from their neighborhood shop. Neighborhood shop, as we have discussed, that the shopkeepers who are running the neighborhood shop are very familiar with the customers in their areas. So this was the shop they usually went to. It was crowded today. Today it was very crowded there in that particular shop. So the shop owner managed the shop herself with two helpers. When they managed to get into the shop, Sujata dictated a list to her, whatever she required. She in turn began asking her helpers to weigh and pack the items. So meanwhile, Kavita looked around. So what Kavita observed, on the top left shelf, there were different brands of detergent cakes. Another shelf had toothpaste, talcum powder, shampoo, hair oil, etc. So the different brands and different colors looked so attractive. On the floor lay a few sacks. So in this way, all kinds of different products were available in one shop under one floor. Clear? One roof. It took almost 20 minutes to weigh and pack all the groceries. Then Sujata showed her notebook. The notebook consists of the record previously purchased, and the women noted the amount of 3000 rupees in the notebook and gave it back, and she also noted the amount in her big register. It means the record is kept by the shopkeeper herself, and in the record, in the notebook, that is carried by Sujata, means the customer. Then Sujata took the heavy bags out of the shop. Her family will pay for the purchases in the first week of next month. So while Sujata purchased the things, she did not pay for the products. She did not pay for the things, right? They will pay later in the next month. So dear students, we have discussed about shops in the neighborhood. In case of Sujata and Kavita, we understood here. You might have noticed that there are different kinds of sellers even in the neighborhood markets. Some of them have permanent shops and others sell their goods on the roadside, like vegetable sellers. Here one example of a mall. Anjal Mall is a 5-floor shopping complex. Kavita and Sujata were enjoying going up and down in the lift. Anjal Mall is 5-floor shopping complex. Kavita and Sujata were enjoying going up and down in the lift. It seemed as if it was made of glass and they were able to see outside as they went up. It was fascinating to see so many different kinds of shops such as ice cream, burger, pizza and other food shops. Very amazing. Shops full of home appliances, footwear, leather items as well as bookshops. So all kinds of things were available in the mall. While wandering about on the 3rd floor, they entered a shop that was selling branded ready-made clothes. So according to the floors, the things were available. The security guards looked at them as if he wanted to stop them, but he did not say anything. They looked at some dresses and then looked at the price tag. They found that the products are very having the high prices, and none of them was less than 3000 rupees, almost 5 times the weekly market price. Sujata whispered to Kavita, I will take you to another shop which has good quality ready-made clothes at more reasonable prices. So dear students, we have seen the difference between a mall and weekly market and neighborhood shops. Clear with the example of Kavita and Sujata, and earlier with the example of weekly market. So in the next video, we will cover the rest of the topic of the chapter.